Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 mid-season finale fan reactions. I couldn't wait. I know it was another 5 to 6 minutes, but we got to get this thing going. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. First, please, 999 Army, a little bit of self-respect. Come on. Dead. She's gone. Move on. They're not going to show a mother setting herself on fire and all torched up. She's gone. Don't start the conspiracy theories because it ain't going to happen. They will bring closure to it tonight on Talking Dead. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure they'll have Kim Dickens on there, and then they'll officially do it. Madison does not live. The T-shirt's not going to be out there. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's a T-shirt idea. If any of you, most of you have, but a lot of new people may be in here tonight. If you've been following us last couple weeks, we were pretty much on the money with this prediction. A lot of stuff we talked about earlier stream. I know half the audience was she lives, another half was she dies. Several things that were answered tonight that we definitely want to talk about was the scar on Strand's hand. Wasn't saving Madison, but it was due to the fire, so that was answered tonight. We did also last week talk about when Althea drove through the wall. The question that came up was why was the door locked? So in the reaction last week, we said, well, Madison must have lured them in there and then locked them in behind her. So, hey, good job to all of us for sort of talking it through. We definitely were right on the money. The irony is the walls would have held. So if those people would not have went out there and tried to get away, they didn't believe her, then it could have been a little different story. But Madison did end up proving it in the end that the walls would hold. Burned almost the whole stadium down, all the walkers, and yet she still, she did it for her kids. And that is the moral of the story. So, which is all the more reason. I know 99% of the population is going to believe exactly what they see. There is going to be 1% of the population is going to say, no, we didn't see it. We got to bring closure to it. The closure is in the story itself, and knowing that the reason Madison did it, as many of us had talked about, was exactly for her kids so they could live and have a different life. So we got a couple super chats in here. Coming out of the gates, I got a couple to get to. Epic Vids 8 says, I liked it apart from the fact they didn't show her actually die. This will be another Morales situation. Just show it to 8. I'm going to say, Epic Vids, I'll say it won't be a Morales situation because I think they're going to bring closure to it in Talking Dead. That'll be another avenue. And they can't go through all the sentimental stuff and film it and go all the way around and say why she did it and how she did it and then just kind of backtrack on that. There's no way. No way it's happening that way. Jimmy's jamming with a super chat. Thank you so much, Jimmy's jamming. That is awesome. Jimmy, thoughts for tonight's episode? Because you didn't put it in the super chat. But hold tight. I want to get Jimmy's thoughts because I want to make that a super chat spotlight as well. If I miss it, then moderators, can you catch that? So instead of looking for the way out, let's give a little bit of respect to Kim Dickens, to Madison's character. It went full circle. We watched it when it was bad. We watched it this season when it started going a different direction. And as many of us talked about, the perfect death for her. It was perfect. Was saving her kids, doing what was right. There was no way that they were going to go back and have Madison survive and then circle back and have to break her heart that Nick was dead. It just wasn't going to happen. And, I mean, you could tell. Jimmy's Jammin's comment says, love the episode. Sorry about Madison. I'm going to ask the group the same thing. Thank you so much, and I want to get this as a permanent part of this video. First of all of you watching along, you guys could slap that like button and make sure when this video goes live, get some people in here. Let's talk about it. Leave your comments. Share it. If you're watching the playback, which I know many people are because it's late, leave your thoughts and comments. I need you to rate this episode from a 1 to an 11. We're going to give it 10% bonus points. I'm going to come out of the gates and tell you, you know what? I always do this. I can't influence you just yet. From a 1 to an 11. 11 being absolutely out of this world. Score it. And you know what? That's where I'm going with it. I'm giving it an 11. I thought it was fantastic. So I see a lot of really high scores out there. So yes, the Fear the Walking Dead has made its mark. Pat Sanzone comes in under a 10. Oh, we're going to have to talk. We're going to have to get Pat's thoughts in a couple minutes. Oathkeeper with a 9. Most people scoring it extremely high. It had all the elements that we were looking for to bring good closure and set the table for the second half. And I don't know if you guys saw the preview. We've got Walkernado. In fact, I'm sure that's going to be trending very soon. I've never seen walkers in a tornado. I love what they're doing. They're doing some crazy, crazy stuff. Jimmy's jamming, following up with another. Jimmy liked this episode, I can tell. With another super chat saying 11, hands down. In my mind, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just saying this episode, for me, was better than any Walking Dead episode last season. I got to tell you, I like the characters. I like the way they're all coming together. I like the fact that they're all flawed in one way or another. I like that we might have got Naomi, June's real name. Definitely looks like a June. John said that's my favorite month, so there you go. We've got some closure to that. And even little Charlie, I was like, maybe little Charlie's going to become a badass too. Everybody's got just enough rationale for how they're doing and what the reason they did what they did. I thought the campfire scene was epic. I really, really liked the campfire scene. I think that was needed for closure. Sorry, Rowdy. You know what? We'll show it. Only because it was pretty predictable, Rowdy. That story, and it was done. In my mind, it was done. There were so many challenges that I thought for the show and for Madison being there. I'm happy. I'm happy that they've got new stars and there's going to be new leadership, and I think it was incredible writing. If people want to hate on the writers after tonight, you definitely have that right. But we always criticize when, like last week, there were a lot of things that were convenient, and we did kind of slap the writers on the hand a little bit. But what did we say earlier? We said, you know what? Forget last week, because last week made this week possible. I want to go back and look at this episode and see who wrote it. This was one of the best writing jobs I've ever seen on The Walking Dead. So whoever was responsible for that, the people that drove this, unbelievable job. I know tomorrow there's going to be Monday morning quarterbacks. There's going to be other YouTubers out there. There's going to be people that are bashing it. They're going to say, the show's dead now that Madison. You could not be more wrong. Anybody that appreciates a good story and they have to like this. There's always going to be one or two devil's advocate that want to stir the pot a little bit, but it was so good, man. It was good. Epic Vids throwing out a question. Epic says, question to Kills and 99 Army. Were you emotional during the end camp scene? I wasn't, because I was expecting it to happen that way. Slight flaw. Yes. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I wasn't crying. I wasn't choked up. You know how you can almost feel like a little tickle kind of there? Yeah, it was that. Because there wasn't enough of that emotion for me. Like, I wasn't so attached to Madison, but I could see, Epic, how people that were attached to Madison would have cried there. And I guarantee you some people that were here, because there are some people that are Madison fans, and, you know, we love all our viewers. We love all the 99 Army. So I like, it didn't have to be Madison for me. It was the fact that she did this good for other people. And it didn't have to be her, but the fact that somebody was willing to do that, and then all these people were just kind of sitting around and appreciating it. Epic, I will say this. The corny-ass music at the end of it is probably why I wasn't more emotional. They got to fix this part, because whoever is picking the music selection is bad. It was terrible. Worst possible music selection that they could have done. They could have picked something that would have definitely brought the emotion out. And I'll give you a case in point. I'll do it in random things. Actually, I mean, there's a lot of... I hated it. I hated the song. I hated it. It just didn't do anything for me. It didn't move me. We'll talk about that in some future episodes. We'll talk about what could have been a good song. They could have paid a little royalty and just had something. You know, like even some, they wouldn't do it, but some Alicia Keys, right? You know, No One. There you go, right? I mean, no one's gone till they're gone. If you'd have put a little Alicia Keys in the background, I probably, it'd have been water flowing. I'd have had more water flowing than that bad episode they did last year of The Dam that just went around and around and around. I got so many notes, and I'm not going to go through the notes because that really is what we're going to do tomorrow night because we're going to do a complete recap. This is just raw emotion, thoughts, feelings about the episode. No, it's not. Please don't. Don't even spam it. Don't even start the Glenn dumpster stuff again. I'm going to tell you, when you have a good episode that is like this, it's almost like a work of art. And to talk about a Glenn dumpster scene is like taking crap and throwing it on a work of art. It's just, it's taking away from exactly what the writers did. The writers were amazing. So many people said they want you to think she's dead and then they're going to bring her back to life and kind of went on that. So the writers did the only way they could have done. But here's what they did better. How many people thought Madison was alive because they were confused about the time frame in the beginning? That's where they got me. When Madison walked up, and how many people were like, yes, she's alive. I knew she was alive, right? How many people thought that was current and it wasn't before she even got to the stadium? I loved how they did that. They wrote that in, and then you see the truck pull up, and it's like, wait a minute. Oh, they got me. They're at the stadium now. That time frame, and I'm not going to tell you because Emmy and the moderators, we were messaging a little bit. We're not going to put that in video, but I will tell you some of that got translated. All right, everybody, you can thank Cox, your cable service provider, for that brief interruption. We will talk about that on Random Things on Tuesday. I'm telling you, I'm super fired up. I'll have a better explanation for that, but there is some interesting stuff going on. If you guys have watched a few of the streams, you know. But we'll pick that back up. We're back. Absolutely, Ashley. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read that comment because it probably won't come out the right way. But you guys get the point. We will talk about that on Random Things. I promise you. I usually don't dog service providers out, but they definitely deserve it. All right, let's get back to a little bit of the closure. The writers. They couldn't trick the audience any longer because they've done this and they've strung it along for 7 episodes. The best thing they could do is bring closure to the story, and they did that perfectly. You could see the look on their face when they were in the car, when they went around the campfire, and I think that was the most touching scene, is seeing Strand in tears. You could see the emotion come out and how close he was with Madison. I mean, that they're drinking buddies. I mean, they poured their heart out to each other. And you could see that emotion just with Strand, and knowing that it wasn't about the stadium at all. It was about the people. And so the people could live, and so Alicia could live, and so people could move on to tell the story. And I thought they tied that in with Al's story so well, because we have given a little pushback, right? Like, why do they have a reporter in here? Why is it so important? And we saw firsthand two things that really, really struck me. And it was Althea said the truth is really more powerful than anything else. I thought that was amazing. And the fact that these tapes are important. You never know what you're going to find. All right, we've got a couple super chats in here. I want to jump over to this. Epic Vid said, I honestly think of Madison as a hero. She is redeemed, but unfortunately died. Last week I want her killed off. Now I wish she were still alive. I think that's a great, great comment, because you do get in the moment. And Epic, very similar to you, is I wasn't opposed to her being on the show. I said I thought she needed to because the direction the story was going. However, I do want to say that if she would have stayed on the show, the difficulty with her not being able to protect Nick, I think would have been tough. But they would have had to completely change her character, I think, for me to really appreciate her. But you do. There's nothing wrong with the hero's death on this show, especially. And I think she got the type of send-off, definitely, as someone that was very protective of her kids, and that was her whole MO, like all through the show. She did it. She saved them for that moment. Now, couldn't save him from Charlie. It's kind of odd, but she did save him, give him another opportunity. Jimmy's jamming. Once again, Jimmy says, I've been nervous as hell all season. Now that she's dead, I can start to relax, enjoy the rest of the season. So you've got really two different philosophies there. So I think this is a good time. I'm going to do two super chat spotlights at the same time. So based on Epic's comment and Jimmy's comment, are you relieved and satisfied that Madison got a death protecting her children? Or are you left kind of like Epic, wishing that you had more of Madison's story and that she was still around and they would have found a way to make it work? So leave your thoughts and comments. I want to catch a few of these as we jump in. I can only assume some of the dislikes are some of the people that are trolling us. I can't do everything about that. Chukala says she got the perfect send-off. Kel says she protected her kids. Hero's death. Donna Coleman, wish she'd have stayed around a little longer. Don, I would have had a hard time with that story with her and Alicia, though. Chosen One says perfect way to go out. Tommy V, good send-off. So I think a lot of the people that scored this episode really high, 10, above 10, 11, is you appreciate what she did. Eber Cortez, will her send-off be better than Rick's? It might be hard to top this one. I don't know that I've seen a more appropriate send-off. There were several I didn't like. I mean, Carl's was one I didn't like, kind of the way it happened. But I think it was perfect for her. So Villar says, in a sort of way, it can be a cliffhanger because we didn't see her die. You're not going to see a... Well, you might have saw her die. I mean, I guess we can always go back and watch all the charred walkers and see if one of them is Kim Dickens. I don't think that's necessary, but... Julia Drum says, I'm impressed. Great episode tonight. Probably the best one I've seen so far. It burned down half the stadium and all the walkers. She didn't make it. I mean, I'm not going to entertain that right now. I'll let the conspiracy people do another stream to talk about that, because it's a waste of breath. So J.R. Barry says Fear has become a good show. I'm going to say it again. This episode tonight, for me, was better than any episode last season. Now, I won't go back 2 seasons. But last season, The Walking Dead was good. But I think this episode trumps all of them. Any Walking Dead from the last year. Lakeisha says, good way to go. It dragged on just to see what happened. Well, Lakeisha, in a way, it did, but the reason they did that is because they stayed true to the time skip, and I would be willing to bet the time skip tonight fooled 90% of the audience. Because when you saw Madison walk up in the beginning, I know with me, I thought she was alive. I was like, wait a minute. Could I have been that wrong? No, there's no way I could be off by that much. How are they going to show Madison alive right at the beginning? So to not know in the beginning that had happened, like before she even regrouped with them to find the stadium, was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was one of the best okey dokes I have ever seen on a television show. All right, good reactions tonight. I appreciate a lot of. This didn't really have to be a therapy session. Yep. So the beginning was right after the dam explosion. It was right after. George, you might not be in the right place. He's like, he comes in here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave that. Well, I'm glad that it took Kim Dickens confirming it on Twitter as opposed to us all watching the stadium burn down and seeing walkers go up in smoke. Thank you, Kim, for making it final. I didn't need her confirmation, though. I was pretty good without that. I mean, let's do this, okay? The people out there that are really Madison fans, if you have a Twitter account, tweet out your appreciation for how good of a job she did in this finale. It was incredible. She did a great job. She stayed true to character. I didn't always like the character. I thought the story had been told way too much over and over again. So I'm glad they closed it, and I'm glad they let her be the hero for her kids. I want to throw this out there to the group, too. One of the things, I'm not going to say it wasn't bad writing, but it was a little bit out of character. Did anybody think for a moment when Morgan said, I don't die, and got that look on his face, did anybody think for a split second like, oh my God, Alicia's going to shoot Morgan, and that's going to be the real shock of the night? As much as I think Morgan's going to be there for a long time, I do have to tell you, that moment, that was probably one of the scariest moments of tonight's episode. Because he was just talking and talking, and then he got that one moment where he just kind of turned away a little bit with this look like, oh, it's so obvious I'm not going to die. And I was like, just please don't let her pull the trigger right now. That's what I didn't think it would happen, but then when they played the scene, I was like, this is going to be the most shocking thing ever. I get your point, Tyler. Is Tommy here? Where's the enforcer? All right, I am going to throw out one more challenge to the group. If the 999 Army, if all of you guys could just slap the like button, that would be awesome. Show a little bit of support, show some love for the team. Let's get this thing up over 100 likes as quick as possible. Also, once this video goes live, if we don't get to address your comments, make sure you leave them in the comments below. So we're growing the channel. We want more people to be involved. We're mostly live streams, so you're probably not going to see a whole lot of 5-minute videos and clips and newscasts. If you're new to the channel, if you guys could do me a favor too, because I've seen several new people that are here. If you're new to our streams, type a quick 999 so everybody here can just give you a quick what's up, and hopefully you like what you hear. You like hanging out with us. Subscribe to us, and we're going to be doing this all summer long. Next week we'll be starting. Not next week. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we'll be doing our regular streams. The week after we're going to start getting into our Walking Dead Season 9 episode by episode predictions. And I do have to tell you, we're pretty accurate. We got a group of specialists here that know their stuff. Yeah, not gonna lie, I mean that did make me want a cup of ramen noodles too. Is it? You know what? I'm not going to say it, but if you guys want to type it and have it as part of this video, the line that Alicia said about punching, or I'm sorry, Althea said about punching Alicia. If you guys didn't catch that, you're free to type it. I'm not going to put it in the video because yeah, you just never know. But you get it. You get the point. I'm sure we'll have someone that will do us a solid. But there were some very good lines in tonight's episode. Morgan referring to Negan. I mean, just so many good references. There you go. Thank you, Tommy. I can always count on Tommy to pick up the important parts of the episodes. That's probably the only 2 words that Tommy remembers from tonight's episode. But that's why he's the enforcer. I do have to say this too. Mel, not so bad. Maybe people were way too quick to rush to judgment over Mel. Did Alicia kill him for no reason? I mean, Mel wasn't involved in releasing the walkers. Mel picked up little Charlie. So it doesn't seem like Mel was as bad as we initially thought. And that's what I thought was so good about the season is you see Mel, and there were so many comparisons early on, like, oh my God, he's going to be the next Negan. What's Mel doing in that parking lot? He was trying to starve him out. I mean, he had the hot dogs, and Enos was doing his own diabolic thing. Mel didn't want to be a part of it. He did. He took the car, and he picked up Charlie and got out of there. Enos was the true villain. Well, yeah, but you can't necessarily kill someone for being a coward. Guilt by association, that's possible. But here's the only what if. There was a lot of gunfire going back and forth. Alicia, Lucy, and Strand and Althea, they were trading gunfire. This is not like 2 kids on a playground slapping each other. They were firing at each other. One of those bullets takes out somebody, we got a totally different story. You're absolutely right, Drama King. Charlie is a permanent part of this group. We talked about the moral dilemma, but think about the second half. You got Charlie, who killed Nick. You've got June, who always runs, which could put people at risk. You've got Alicia, who shot John. I mean, there's so many different... you got Strand's done a lot of stuff, and he's looked for outs. He's looked for ways to run away for some time. And I'm missing some of the stream. Is it Villar's birthday? Did I catch that? I missed a whole lot of text there, so let me know. Confirm that if that's correct. Okay, we missed Villar's birthday. So it's birthday month. All right. Well, happy birthday to you. We're late. And happy belated birthday to anyone that we didn't wish happy birthday to before June the 10th. Darth is like first Nick, now Madison. It's okay. Nick chose to leave. Madison needed to leave. We're going to talk about Charlie a little bit later on in the week. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a topic of conversation during our recap. Epic Vids Super Chat says, will the Nick and Madison deaths be good for the show, or will the viewers feel like all their favorite characters are dying and tune out? I'm going to ask this to the group, and I'll answer first. So me personally, neither Nick nor Madison were my favorite characters. So I'm more inclined, Alicia, John, Morgan, Althea's got a nice story. So I'm going to throw this out to the rest of the group. And judging by the fact that there were a lot of really high scores for tonight's episode, I think I got a feel that people are okay with the show. Even if someone comes in like Janet Alvarez and says Nick was her favorite, but she's still watching. So that's good. I mean, you're talking about something that happened 4 episodes back, 5 weeks, and people are still watching the show. So it looks like it's got some sticking power. Julia Drum saying it's better now. I agree. I think it's much better. Tanya says John and Morgan. That's her crew. That's who she's rolling with. So let me ask a different version of Epic's question. You guys can just answer. Is the show stronger after tonight than it was before tonight? And that's a good question. So, that'll be Epic wants to know for casual viewers who aren't as loyal as most of us are. So we'll answer that in twofold. One, if you're kind of new to the stream, we'd love to hear your opinion. And also, Epic and other people, check the comments once this video goes live, and we'll see how many other people are watching the playback and see what their thoughts are. I'm going to say most people are going to say, well, at least you can see the people that are here every stream, Epic, I think, to your point. A lot of the regulars are saying, yes, it is stronger. There's a couple new names, though, I see that I haven't seen in the stream before. They're saying yes as well. But let's be honest here. How was your reaction to the Walkernado? I mean, was that not some cool stuff? So we just had this sad Madison death scene and going around the campfire, and then they all share some noodles, and then next thing you know, it's like it looked like a supernatural type of movie. Like, what's going on? What's going on? I was going back and forth, and you see this Walker twister thing, and I'm like getting super hyped. I'm like, I want to watch it now. I want to see what's going on in the second half. So they're going to bury the dead and they're going to move on. I mean, that's what I think the writers are doing, is they're not going to dwell over, oh my God, they're gone. I think they're just going to let the characters go out there and they're going to press forward. So it's really something to look forward to see the dynamic between Morgan and John, to see the dynamic between John and June. The guilt, there's this underlying resentment that is going to have to be there with Alicia and Charlie. Charlie's going to be trying to blend, and at some point Alicia will throw that up. That will come back. And then it'll be some really moving scene when Alicia, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. All right? Super bold prediction. I know it's way too early. Alicia will take Charlie under her wing. Charlie, and I said this last episode, and you guys didn't believe me. I said Charlie is a permanent mainstay, and Charlie will become the Clementine of Fear the Walking Dead. Mark it down right now. Charlie will be with the show for a while. She's already shown that if she sees something that's not right, she's taking it into her own hands. She pulled the trigger on Nick. She thought it was wrong that Nick killed Enos. So her judgment still needs to develop. But super bold prediction, Charlie is the Clementine that we've been asking for on The Walking Dead. I think there's a lot of little nuances to this show that they're giving us. They're giving us humor. They're giving us film like a Western, which is a little bit different. They're giving us Walker tornadoes. I mean, they're closing the story much better. Very well written. Not a whole lot I would do differently than what they did. There's a few touch-ups I would have did last week and then the John and June episode. And it's going to be so easy to write that. And at some point, when Alicia takes Charlie under her wing, then that's the ultimate forgiveness. I think when Alicia hugged Morgan, we could see that Alicia's smart. She can be a leader. She's not blinded by rage. That doesn't get discussed enough. We see these leaders go out and they take over, and anybody, can make a bold decision. But a leader needs to have that strength and also have compassion. And we saw something tonight. It might be very, very minor, could go under the radar. We've seen Alicia ramp up. Tough. And then where she was getting out of control. And then tonight, we saw her scale back a little bit and use judgment. And she did the right thing. Instead of just blindly killing Charlie and then killing Naomi, killing Morgan. It's got to stop. So I see those leadership qualities in Alicia. So I think they are primed. I mean, that was another great one-liner as well. Drama King, the door fell off the tank, and Althea says, "Can you help me pick that up?" I mean, that was like perfect. They blew the door off the tank. You got to have that comic relief in there. So you could have Strand and Althea really giving you the comic for the show. That could be a little bit of your Eugene and Abraham. All right, let's see what else we got here. Do you think, Eber Cortez, do you think The Walking Dead will want Morgan back now that Rick's leaving? I think there could be a quest of Morgan to merge the groups together. I think that's going to be a story. Now, we made, and that's probably the boldest prediction we've ever made in our bold predictions, but one of the predictions was that after season 5, perhaps the group goes up and they merge the shows. This show is hot right now, so they could definitely do that, and they could create another spinoff. I would have no problem with everybody that's in that tank right now making their way back up, and then all of them going to The Walking Dead. I would love, I think, did somebody say it was 5 seasons to get to syndication? So not this season, but next season, just have them merge right up there, and then you'd have these characters that we respect replacing Rick, Maggie, maybe Michonne. You replace them with Alicia, Strand, Althea. I mean, I could see that, bringing Morgan back. Morgan is the one, and Morgan even said, I ran halfway across the country to prove to someone that I didn't need people. So I think he planted the seed there, talking about leaving Negan and leaving everything behind, that when the group is looking for something to bring them back, Morgan could be the shepherd that is going to bring them back. And the show would be a success, and it would make the Walking Dead franchise more of a success, in my opinion. So we will talk about that a little bit later on. All right. And we are back. So, yeah, we're going to wind this down anyway. As I said, there were a couple brief interruptions, and you guys will get the whole story on Tuesday during Random Things. So stay tuned for that. Want to say thank you to everybody that's in the stream tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. We went through, a couple years of doing this, so just give me a moment before everybody tunes out. This is going to be my emotional Madison moment. The Walking Dead Army, as a group, you guys are just super, super important. I look forward to doing these streams, talking, seeing your ideas. I mean, to you guys, I'm kind of one person behind the mic, but to all of you, you guys are hundreds of people, thousands of people, including gaming fans that really support this channel. Would not be here doing this if it wasn't such a wonderful group. Good or bad, I love The Walking Dead. We're in this for the long haul. We're starting to do some Game of Thrones. We're doing Random Things. There are going to be some other shows that we experiment with and get it out there. But what really makes this work is all the interaction. So those people watching the playback, all these streams, these are real thoughts, real ideas, people that want to get involved, want to get engaged with this show, and are very passionate about it. So you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. We have hit the mid-season finale, so it's going to be a couple months before there's Walking Dead stuff out there, television shows for us to do. But one thing that we do year-round is we won't be streaming 7 days a week, but we still will be talking Walking Dead. We're going to be talking Season 9. We'll have some rumors. We'll have some news, a lot of different things. So we do keep it alive. We keep it fresh all throughout the summer. So I understand some people are going to check out and they get really, really excited about it late September, early October when it's ready to come back up. But Comic-Con is going to be coming up. Walker Stalker is going to be coming up, so you'll hear more and more news. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here. Your thoughts are super, super important. Want to give a special shout out through the first half of the season to all the patrons to support this channel. You can also see all the sponsors. A lot of the sponsors are typing. Their name is in a different color. We got some gear available, and of course our super chatters that highlight their comments and get involved with this as well. Thank you so much for your super chats and for keeping the conversation fresh and exciting. So with that being said, if you guys could put a quick 999 in chat, I want to do as many shout-outs as we possibly can. And just thank you once again for your support. And I will see everybody tomorrow night at 9:30. We will do the complete show recap. Give us a little bit more time to sort of let all this resonate and see how we think it's going to propel the show to brand new heights. So thank you so much to Tommy V, also to Marian Delonzo, Alicia James, Chukala, Cami, Darth Huggles, Lakeisha Faison, Davina Tanoya, all the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, thank you so much for everything that you guys do. It's been a great season with Walking Dead. It's been a great first half. Would not have been able to do it without all the moderators. They are absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for what you guys do. Janet Alvarez, Laura Brown, Epic Vids, thank you so much. John Brody, Card Blasters, Michelle M, Fluff, Chris Rainig, thank you so much. Gina Crockett, thank you. Valar, appreciate you. Ron, Nikki, thank you. Tanya Dockstader, much love to you as well. Pete M, Sam B, Christopher Anderson, Football Stuff Worldwide. Shane Short, what's going on, Shane? Drama King says, check the tapes. Or actually, brand new. The tapes have officially been checked. Absolutely. Karen S., thank you. Ralph Albertine, DDA Ohio, thank you. Beth Brigette, BK Harp, thank you so much. BK as BK, Steph, Diane Jones, Diane Estes, some of the first supporters of the channel. So thank you so much. Appreciate. And when we first set up the 909 Army, some of the first members as well. Emmy, Carol Weaver, Pete D, all of you out there. A lot of shout outs. Mitch True, thank you so much. Sergeant Chosen One, appreciate your insight. Tammy Heitzman, thank you, Tammy. All right, everybody. I think we got most of the shout-outs, so once again, just want to thank everybody. Jimmy's Jammin'. Jimmy, I almost didn't get your name in there. And Jimmy, very avid supporter of the channel. A lot of super chats as well. And thank you so much. Big-time super chats from Jimmy's Jammin' tonight as well. Also, Epic Vids, very engaged. Thank you so much for all you guys just do so much for this channel. I appreciate it. And we're long-time supporters of The Walking Dead. So I am so glad that we were patient through the first 3 seasons because they were super average. And this season of Fear the Walking Dead has been everything that I wanted it to be and everything that I've hoped it would be with the brand new characters. So I'm going to definitely tweet out the writers, and I just thought they did an amazing job. And let's go check out a little bit of Talking Dead and see what's up with that tonight. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.